Hi again and welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture you're going to learn how to add points to the map that we built previously, which is this one here. So all we have here is a base map, so the background map, which is a layer, actually it's a layer coming from OpenStreetMap service. So OpenStreetMaps, they give you a layer, actually volume will serve you this layer on the background through JavaScript, but you can also add other layers as well, other base layers, and also points which you can add on top of the base layer. So let me go back to the code. This is what we wrote in the previous lecture. Actually, we wrote it in here in the interactive shell, but I just copied and pasted this in a file so that we have it and that we can add more code now on top of this. So again, as I told you, you can do help volume.map, and you see you can add other things in here, such as here you have the parameters. So you can add tiles. The default is OpenStreetMaps, but if you specify another tile such as map box bright, and that has to be in quotes, as you can see in here. In the tiles parameter, this expects a string object. Location, for instance, it expects a tuple or a list, and that's what we passed. We passed a list of coordinates. The width would be an integer, the height, and so on. You have other options as well, which you can try by yourself. I just want to try this one for now. Let me open a new Python shell. Python 3 map 1. Make sure you have saved your script. Execute. Then you can go back to the folder and open map. Let me go to Firefox, Ctrl R or Command R to reload, and you'll see that the background has changed, so we have a new base map now. Okay, let's go back to the script now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some point markers on top of the base map. And so how do you do that? Well, if you do dir volume, here you can see that you have some objects, and the one we want is a marker or a circle marker. So I'll try them both, but I want to explain you the logic of how you add objects to the map object. So we import volume, we create a map object, and then between the map object and the save method of the map object, you can add elements, so objects, to that map. And what I want to add in this case is a marker. So I can do map dot add child. So we use the addChild method to add children. So these objects that I'm talking about are referred to as children when you add them to the map. So map addChild, and then you want to point to the volume.marker. Now this marker method, this expects some arguments itself. You can do help volume.marker. So create a simple stock leaflet marker on the map. Leaflet is a JavaScript library that helps you to visualize this. That is the engine that creates those maps on the browser. So Python creates a JavaScript code using the leaflet library, and so markers allow you to add pop-ups. So when you click a marker on the map, it allows you to show information. And so parameters, you need to pass a location parameter to the marker in order to visualize it. So location equals 2. So it's a tuple list, let's say 38.2 and minus 99.1, and you can also pass, so after the list, a pop-up parameter, which could be like, hi, I'm a marker. I also need to pass the icon parameter, which actually is another object, and that comes from volume.icon, which expects for me to pass a color there, like let's say green, and yeah, basically that's it. Make sure your brackets are correct, so have 3 brackets here, 3 closing brackets, and 1 and 2 and 3 opening round brackets. Okay, save the script, go to the other terminal and execute, go to Firefox, reload, and here is a marker. If I click, I get the pop-up message in a nice window here. So that's how you add markers to your map. However, I would suggest you follow a slight different approach to add children to your map. What I would suggest is to actually create a feature group, volume.feature group, and you can give it a name like my map. And then what happens is that in this feature group, so the marker is a feature, and with feature groups you can add multiple features to the feature group. So you can add a marker, you can add like polygons, etc. And so instead of saying map, you do the feature group object. So this variable that I created in here, I'm passing it here, and then after that you do map.addChild, and you pass the feature group in there. So this is done to keep your code more organized, and it also helps you later when you want to add a control layer control feature in your map to allow you to switch the layers on and off. So we'll look at this later. Save this script and let me try it. Reload the page. And so we don't have any change. Things will work the same, which means feature group is working fine. But as I said, it's good to keep the code organized, and it also helps you later when you add a layer control feature. That's what I wanted to teach you for now, and I'll talk to you later.